guys, today I'm going to be talking about something slightly different. I'm going to discuss ways in which you can conceive faster. So I just want to quickly go through things that you can do to help that process along. The advice I'm giving you is only if there aren't any serious medical issues. For instance, if a woman isn't ovulating at all, that's something that you would need to speak to your doctor about, and they may have to put you on some medication like clomiphene or something like that. One thing that is actually really important and might seem quite obvious to some people is to ensure that you are trying to conceive at the time that you as a woman are ovulating. Now, you only ovulate once a month, so it actually gives you a really narrow window in the month period. So it's only maybe about 3 to 5 days maximum that you have in the month that you can get pregnant, and that is around the time that you ovulate. Now, everyone's timing that they ovulate varies significantly. Cycle day 1 is the first day of your period. Some people ovulate on day 10, so 10 days after the first day of their period. Some people will ovulate on the 14th day, depending on the length of their cycle. Some people have a cycle length that's 28 days, some people have 22 days, some people have 35 days. So you can be ovulating at any point in the month. So I do recommend you getting an ovulation kit. Now, there are many companies that do it, but Pregnacare, I know, do one. They do a digital ovulation kit, which is really good. It tells you when you're at high fertility, peak fertility, and when your fertility is very, very low. I think that the digital kits are slightly easier to use than the ones which are manual and a little bit harder to read. Ensure that you read the instructions. When you first use the kit, you need to ensure that you use it on the first day of your period. So when you pee on the little stick, it has to be on the first day of your period, because that is used as your base point for what your hormone levels are. Only from that point can they work out when you're ovulating throughout the month. Another piece of advice that I give a lot of people is to make sure that both the man and the woman are taking multivitamins beforehand. There are multivitamins that are made purely for conception. I know again that Pregnacare do conception tablets for him and her. They do have all the vitamins in there which are needed to conceive faster or successfully. So for instance, they've got vitamin B6 in there, which is known to regulate your hormone levels, which of course is really important. They've got vitamin D in there. Studies have shown that people with low vitamin D levels actually seem to have less success with their fertility. Another important ingredient in there that they have is the folic acid dose of 400 micrograms, which basically prevents any neural tube defects and also helps promote cell divisions. So both him and her taking multivitamins, and they say up to 3 to 6 months before trying does help, because the sperm cycle is about 72 days. It'd be good if you were using the vitamins during that period to ensure that both sperm and egg are healthy and in the best form for a successful conception. Really random piece of advice which I have given people, and they just look at me as if I have lost my mind. And to be honest, when I first did some reading up on this, I thought you must be having a laugh, but this has been proven to work. So there is an ingredient in cough medicines which is called guarfenicin, and you can buy this over the counter. So there's Robitussin for chesty cough, and they recommend 4 teaspoons 4 times a day for women, and they say that men can actually also benefit from taking it as well on the day that you are planning to conceive. When you are taking the cough medicine, make sure you drink plenty of water along with it. Now, the science behind taking chesty cough medicine is actually quite simple. So the ingredient guarfenicin, what it does is that it thickens mucus. So it also thickens your cervical mucus. And by doing this, what happens is that it's apparently meant to be more successful at catching the sperm and holding it in, so it's not escaping, it's not going anywhere. You're keeping it in and letting the natural biological process begin. And another thing obviously I did mention before is just to ensure that you are actually ovulating properly. You can be having a period but not be ovulating. People assume that if they're having a period, they're definitely ovulating. That's not always the case. So if you've been trying for a long time and doing the steps as you should be and still not getting pregnant, I suggest going to the doctor, getting your blood test done. They check it at different times in your cycle just to check that you are releasing an egg and that you are ovulating, perfectly fine. And again, as I said before, if you're not, there is a solution to that. There are medications to help promote ovulation if you're not doing it naturally yourself. Another thing that people don't tend to know about is that they should not be using lubricants. Lubricants tend to not be sperm friendly at all. So make sure that you don't bother, or if you do, there are a few which are known to be fine, but just check with your pharmacist beforehand. And then there's obviously the normal things, such as being a healthy weight. People that are overweight tend to have issues becoming pregnant, as well as people that are underweight. Another thing that's important is to exercise, try not be stressed, try and sleep as much as possible. They do say that if you haven't slept enough, quite stressed, you tend to have low leptin levels, and low leptin levels have been linked to infertility. So it's really important to remain relaxed and as stress-free as possible. Get as much sleep in as you can. Those are my bits of advice that I can offer to you. I hope you found them helpful. If you do have any questions, feel free to message me. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to Sarita's blog, and I will definitely be seeing you soon.